Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking a total, literal paradigm shift in how human society actually organizes itself. We're going on a shared deep dive into the architecture of digital sovereignty. Basically, we're looking at how we're rapidly moving away from basic, legacy GovTech and stepping into this wild new era of AI agentic network states. If you love seeing how complex systems evolve, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to get right under the hood and look at the actual software and structural mechanics of this new world.
So let's start off with a pretty provocative question. Can you truly upgrade a nation-state? I mean, over the last decade, we've all watched countries experiment with blockchain, right? We had Estonia's pioneering X-Road and KSI ledger, Dubai's push for paperless blockchain strategies, and those land registry programs in places like Georgia and Zug. And sure, governments realized early on that decentralized ledgers offered some amazing things: immutability, tamper-proof identities, basic administrative transparency. But honestly, as we've seen, these early implementations eventually hit a massive structural wall. They were essentially just cosmetic digital filing cabinets.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is a powerful metaphor from our sources. Retrofitting blockchain onto a Westphalian nation-state is like mounting a jet engine to a horse-drawn carriage. I mean, it hits the nail on the head. When our traditional geography-based legal frameworks dictate all the rules, cryptographic ledgers kind of lose their power. They get trapped. You can't just slap a blockchain onto a geographic monopoly and call it a day. True sovereignty needs an entirely new operating system built from the ground up, not just some digitized version of the old paper records.
Section 1. The Engine Room, Crypto and AI.
All right, so if we're ditching the horse-drawn carriage, what does this new engine actually look like under the hood? Well, we're witnessing a transition to native digital sovereignty, and it's driven by two core components that act as the foundation. The first, the economic nervous system. Now, at the base layer of any sovereign entity is its money, right? Legacy states rely on central bank fiat and those slow, intermediary-heavy clearinghouses, which honestly just create friction and political leverage. A crypto-native framework replaces all of that entirely. First up, we've got programmable treasuries. Imagine sovereign funds managed by multi-signature algorithms holding permissionless, sound assets. Then there's streaming value exchange. Instead of the massive headache of an annual tax return, imagine real-time microtaxation executed per second via payment channels. It's invisible, automated settlement. And third, trustless economic interoperability. This allows for instant, frictionless cross-border trade without the usual banking delays or the risk of sovereign sanctions. It's a completely seamless economic nervous system. So, if crypto provides the economic nervous system, then AI definitely serves as the executive brain. Look, historically, human bureaucracies suffer from rent-seeking, massive cognitive overload, and just incredibly slow decision-making. Autonomous governance completely redefines all of that. Before a law is even enacted, multi-agent AI models run policy simulations. Basically, sandbox modeling, testing millions of economic and social outcomes before anything actually goes live. Then agentic execution takes over. It autonomously manages public utilities, treasury yields, and land use allocation without that old bureaucratic friction. And it's all kept in check by algorithmic accountability. These AI agents operate strictly under zero-knowledge verified constraints. That means they mathematically prove they followed the rules without ever exposing the underlying private data. So no human corruption, just code.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds into the paradigm shift, the network state. Now, when you actually combine cryptographic money with agentic AI, the whole physical monopoly of the traditional nation-state breaks down entirely. And this brings us right to the concept of the network state. It's a term popularized by technologist Balaji Srinivasan, and it fundamentally flips the historic order of state building on its head. We're shifting from a strict physical monopoly to a highly efficient, cloud-first model. Just look at territory. We're moving from a geographic border monopoly to physically distributed nodes. For identity, we go from easily forged paper passports and state registries straight to zero-knowledge self-custody IDs. In governance, we replace bureaucrats and those slow, periodic elections with AI agentic simulation and continuous on-chain consensus. And finally, knowledge moves from siloed media and institutional archives to decentralized AI knowledge graphs. Every single domain of society is being restructured for maximum efficiency and transparency.
The real takeaway here is what our source calls full-spectrum digital sovereignty. And you might be wondering, why does this matter? Well, because it dramatically empowers the individual against centralized control. Political sovereignty here means exit-based citizenship. You actually get to choose your alignment by joining or leaving jurisdictions on-chain. Economic sovereignty guarantees true financial self-determination. Then there's knowledge sovereignty, relying on AI models trained on verified, open-access bases, making them totally immune to censorship or deepfake manipulation. And identity sovereignty uses those cryptographic credentials we just mentioned. You can prove your age, your skills, or your citizenship without ever revealing your actual private data. Honestly, it's a massive shift in individual power.
Section 3. Assembling the blueprint.
Okay, we've looked at the parts, so let's shift gears and check out the architectural master plan. How is this digital sovereign future actually constructed in real time? Well, it all flows through what's called the Agentic governance pipeline. Imagine a global community organizing around a shared purpose. They activate an autonomous treasury, pool their capital, and deploy this exact pipeline. Step 1 is simulation. AI agents generate parallel policy outcomes to see what works best. Step 2 is auditing. Everything is subjected to real-time cryptographic ledger validation. Step 3 is execution. Multi-agent systems autonomously execute the agreed-upon contracts to manage the community. And Step 4 is arbitration. If a dispute actually arises, it goes to zero-knowledge automated dispute resolution. This ensures absolute mathematically proven impartiality. It's just a continuous, self-sustaining flow of governance.
And here is an absolutely crucial point to understand. Governments using a blockchain to store static land deeds? That was merely step 0. The true revolution isn't just about making old bureaucracies 5% more efficient. The real revolution is taking this mature, cloud-first network state, utilizing its digital trust and massive treasury reserves, and literally crowdfunding actual physical territory. We're talking about acquiring apartments, charter cities, and global land nodes, all linked together by this shared digital citizenship and seamless crypto-native payments. It starts in the cloud, sure, but it manifests right into physical reality.
And this brilliantly illustrates the fully assembled vehicle, the complete digital state stack that constructs these intelligent parallel cloud societies. It builds right up from the ground, starting with a decentralized base layer for consensus, moving up to self-sovereign identity, and then to an economic layer that utilizes L2 crypto settlement and programmable assets. Sitting right above that is the agentic layer, packed with autonomous treasuries and AI arbitrators, and finally, right at the top where the user interacts is the application layer. This features citizen apps, augmented reality visas, and AI dispute interfaces. It is a fully stacked, parallel society running entirely on code.
Which brings us to our final, pretty profound conclusion. Sovereignty is no longer just granted by the physical dirt beneath your feet or by a rubber stamp on a paper passport. In the era of AI agents and cryptographic consensus, sovereignty is computed. It's a breathtaking realization. If the rules of society, economy, and identity are no longer bound by geography, but are instead executed through mathematics, AI, and cryptography, then the ultimate question is, if sovereignty is computed, who is writing the code for your future? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.